In the world of rap, credibility is everything, not just in terms of your music, but how you handle yourself in various situations. To the extent that if you aren't from where you claim, that can hurt your credibility in a big way. Some rappers have even faked being from the hood to get cred, or at the very least, made it seem like they were from the hood. Who among them is not hood life? Allow us to show you. Be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Number 7. 21 Savage. Now, usually when we say someone faked being from the hood, we mean that they just inferred that they were from somewhere they weren't, or that it was implied they were, but they weren't. But for 21 Savage, he literally faked being from the hood because he's not from the United States. His mother came into the country on a work visa and then it expired, but her and her son remained. They eventually ended up in Atlanta, Georgia, where 21 Savage made his name, to the extent that everyone thought he was from the area, when technically he wasn't. Eventually, he did get caught by ICE, and a major battle occurred for his freedom and ability to stay in America. He's able to get a pass and stay, but it was close for a while. Let that be a lesson. It's okay to fake it if it's just a regular lie. But when it comes to immigration, they'll arrest you if you lie about where you're really from. Number 6. 6ix9ine. 6ix9ine is many things, including a punk, a troll, and a liar, in just about every measure that counts. So was he from the hood? Nope. Granted, there are many interpretations of growing up in the hood, including have a terrible upbringing, which at some point 6ix9ine honestly did have. Other times it's about living in a rough neighborhood, which you could also interpret for 6ix9ine from a certain point of view. But the biggest thing about being from the hood is that you understand what that means on a larger scale and the code of the streets that comes along with it. Which, as 6ix9ine's entire career shows, he wasn't interested in that at all. Rather, he just wanted to be famous, and he didn't mind burning just about every bridge that made him famous and then some. He's about as hood as someone from a rich community, because you can claim to be hard and living on the streets, but he's not, and he never really did. Number 5. Tupac. In terms of acting like he was from the hood, Tupac had it down, and his raps are legendary to this day. But in terms of being from the hood, not so much. Now, yes, he was born in East Harlem, which obviously fits the description of being from the hood. However, his parents got him out of there and into Maryland before too long, where he attended a private school and even transferred later on to a school of arts, where he could refine his artistic abilities such as poetry, acting, and more. Those opportunities and chances never come from many rappers who are from the hood, ever. They try to break into the industry so they can get rich and finally live that life. So why is it that people associate the hood with Tupac? Simple, because rappers love Tupac. He was one of the people who helped make rap music what it is today. In the 90s, he was one of the biggest draws around. His music is so legendary that to this day, he influences others in their own styles. He's a legend, and his passing hit a lot of people hard. And it's fine to say that Tupac in his adult years embodied what it meant to be a rapper and hood life, as it were. Just remember that his origins honestly didn't help with that per se. Number 4. J. Cole. As we noted earlier, how you're born and where you're born definitely defines where you are in terms of hood life. With J. Cole, he technically wasn't even born in the United States, as he was born in 1985 in an American Air Force base in West Germany. This was before the unification. He and his mother eventually moved to a multi-ethnic part of North Carolina, and he noted later on in his life that he actually could relate to all the other ethnicities, but he still connected the most with his black side. I can identify with white people because I know my mother, her side of the family, who I love, but at the end of the day, I've never felt white. I can identify with white people, but never have I felt like I'm one of them. I identify more with what I look like because that's how I got treated, but not necessarily in a negative way. His schooling was certainly better than most from the hood who never even attend school or drop out. As if that wasn't enough, he eventually went to college and graduated magna cum laude. So yeah, he might have identified with the hood life and its people, but he's not technically one of them in the from the hood way. Number 3. Drake. Not unlike many hood rappers, Drake was born into the world with not the best of circumstances, including having his father leave him and his mother in order to go to America to pursue his own goals. This caused Drake and his mother to live in a rather cramped apartment just to survive, which sounds hood, and it was, until he became a major TV star in the area via Degrassi, The Next Generation. And that led him to getting a lot of money to support his mother and himself. This in turn led him to being able to get into other ventures, including rap, and we all know where that led. So while his circumstances were hood in a way, and for a time, how many rappers do you know that honestly started out as TV stars in their youth? Number 2, Eminem. Everything about Eminem feels hood, from how he belts out powerful raps to his upbringing that was anything but stable and more. So you'd think that he would perfectly fit into the mold of being a kid from the hood. That's not technically true for a very basic reason. He moved around a lot, and despite being tied to Detroit and living there now, he wasn't born there. Because of Eminem's mother's inability to maintain a job for a long period of time, he was never able to be in one area to make a life for himself. He was an outcast at school because he kept moving around, couldn't make friends, which sounds hood, but it's not exactly the definition you think about when you hear that. In fact, there are plenty of people who do that and aren't hood, like military families. Now, eventually he would go to Detroit and make the life we now know him for, and that life could technically be called hood in certain aspects, but it's anything but a straight line. Number 1, Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne has had a very hard upbringing. Born to young parents who separated and left him in the not the best situation. Thus, you could argue that Lil Wayne was hood nearly from birth, but the reason he's on this list is that he's made lots of claims over the years that he's been part of various groups or been associated with certain people of power in the hood and beyond, and no one can back those up. Such as being a part of the Bloods, but his own record shows that wasn't the case, nor was he associated with them. Plus, as a frequent drug user, many of his claims might have been made when his mind was literally blown. And as his own career shows, he's not the best at playing with other people in nice ways. So given all of that, how can any of his claims be true? There you go, everyone. A look at various rappers whose origin stories aren't exactly what you think they are, or feel they're portrayed to be. Which of these rappers' origins surprised you the most? Do you know other rappers who faked being from the hood? Let us know in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe, and we'll see you next time on the channel.